Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining in our webinar today called Cloud Computing for Local Government. My name is Craig Molyneux and I'm Leader of Visualisation Services in Spatial Vision. Can everyone see the screen? Hopefully you've got a view of it. We'll get underway. So this is who's talking. My name is Craig Molyneux. As I said, I'm Head of Visualisation Services here at Spatial Vision. A bit of background about Spatial Vision. We're a mid-size multidisciplinary agency that consults to the public and private sector. And as our name suggests, we work in the science of where. But essentially, we're problem solvers. We work with clients to define their issues and develop solutions. And this might include training, analysis, strategies, developing applications or visualizing data. Ultimately, we're here to improve processes and provide clarity for your business. So today, what we are going to talk about is a bit of background about what is the cloud, why move to the cloud, particularly for in a local government scenario. I want to talk about a product that we sell, which is called GIS Cloud, GIS Cloud, and have a look at some data collection, and then we'll take some questions from the audience if we've got time. So hopefully it'll probably take about 15 to 20 minutes, so not too much of your time today. So a bit of background. What is the cloud? You've probably heard about it, but not really know what it is. So essentially, it's just a great big warehouse like this of computer servers where we can store people's data on. The most popular, I guess, is Amazon Web Services. You've probably heard of those. They're a huge provider of cloud services around the world, but they're not the only ones. There's other ones like Google, Microsoft, Apple. They're probably the big ones, plus a few others. We use Amazon extensively, and this is a map that I've taken from their website, which shows you their coverage and the number of services that they have. I guess of note is that there's 3 cloud facilities here in Sydney. So a bit of background about cloud computing. The market for cloud computing is predicted to grow or will almost double in the next few years. So from 2013, which was around $58 billion, it's going to grow to about $110 billion in the next couple of years. So it's a massive growth area, and one of the reasons why is not only private sector but also government sector are moving their infrastructure to the cloud. So the Australian government produced a report about their cloud computing policy, and one of the goals was to eliminate duplication in the information technology area and eliminate fragmentation in the endeavour to reduce costs, lift productivity and develop better services. So from a Commonwealth government point of view, that's where cloud computing is heading across all different departments. And I guess what we're seeing is that that's starting to now filter down to the local government area. In particular, we're seeing local governments, particularly the small to mid-sized local governments, gather together, and a number of them collectively will produce cloud services that benefit them. In the US, the previous president said the key reason for moving to the cloud was to engage openly with citizens and spur innovation. So again, from a local government point of view, then engaging with your citizens, I think, is absolutely critical. One report that I've come across, which I think is particularly interesting for local government here in Australia, and it's called Risks and Rewards of Cloud Computing in the UK Public Sector, a reflection on 3 organisational case studies by Jones, Irani, Sivaraja and Love. And I guess, interestingly, it was only done last year, so it's very up to date. And quite a lot of the presentation will refer to this particular report. But in the UK, they created a government cloud for all levels of government to utilise. And the bullet points that you see there highlight the reasons why. So they wanted to standardise and simplify their desktop resources. So everyone's working on a common operating system. They wanted to standardise their networks and rationalise data centres. So rather than individual governments having their own, it could all come together in one cloud infrastructure. They wanted to deliver on open source rather than get locked into proprietary software applications, and use open standards, which is great for sharing information. Having one data centre means it's more environmentally friendly. And I guess importantly for governments is that it provides some assurance around security of their data, given that it's all at one point of truth. Some of the issues that addressed were performance issues, given that now everyone's working from one data center and one cloud infrastructure. The performance could be consistent across all users. There was a trust factor in using that data center. There was control, latency, security, as I've talked about. Privacy particularly was important, and there was reliability around provision of services. So what are the benefits? So by having all your information centrally stored, you get that centralisation of infrastructure. You can get increased resilience, so not so much downtime when things go wrong. There's device and location independence, so if you're using mobile devices in particular, you can work offline and online. It can release other internal IT resources rather than have people bogged down running around attending to individual users' particular IT issues. Better services for the citizens, and again, the green technology. There were tactical benefits that they found moving to the cloud. There was improved business continuity and disaster recovery. Having things backed up on multiple sites in particular. Improved agility and empowerment, so things would move quicker. Obviously, having one cloud infrastructure was faster to implement things. There was improved security, again, as I've talked about. Probably importantly too for a lot of LGAs is the issue of scalability. So you can add applications, you can remove applications, scale up and scale down as required. And it was easier to migrate applications. From an operational point of view, obviously there's reduced costs, and perhaps that's the key driver in moving to the cloud for a lot of government departments. reduced maintenance support. So people needed to be able to work from, the IT people needed to be able to have access to the support at the back end, and could be flexible enough and agile enough to be able to respond to internal queries. Flexibility work practices, utilisation and efficiency improvements all around throughout the organisation, the ability to share services, and being able to deal with increased peak loads. So having stuff on the cloud, there was not a need for engineers during the high level load periods. Today we wanted to talk more about GIS in the cloud. The application that we have, which is called GIS Cloud, is made for a non-technical audience, though it still has a lot of the technical strengths of a GIS, but is flexible enough to use on a cloud service, through a cloud service. So in a local government scenario, there are a lot of non-technical, non-GIS technical users within the organisation. So town planners, there could be asset managers, maintenance crews, environmental staff, there could be people in tourism or front of house, and even customers or the general public that might come to your council website can still utilise the GIS in the cloud infrastructure to access information. So I'd encourage you to go and have a look at giscloud.com, where you can see information about the application. And I'm just going to quickly flick out of here and go to GIS Cloud. So this is a sample map that I've created with some council data. In this case, it's in Geelong, in Victoria, in Australia, where the local council had mapped all their trees and provided all that data available freely to the public. So this was just a quick map of bringing in that tree data and into the GIS, styling it, and making it accessible. So if you click on a point, you can see the attribute information about that feature. Interestingly, and perhaps importantly, is that all this information can be is enabled to be used on mobile devices. And for people that are collecting assets, then this information can be delivered in real time to a mobile device, where the user can, in the field, go and edit this information. They can add information and make it available in real time to either people in the office or potentially to the general public. So all this information here is completely editable, but it's stored in a spatial database. I don't want to dive too deeply into all the features, because I think everyone's probably got different requirements. But essentially, this is a way you can store your geospatial data that you might have about your local government area in a cloud service, and importantly, deliver it to your clients. So some of the benefits, since we've been reselling GIS Cloud, we've now got Australian-based servers. So from a security point of view, if you want to have all your data stored within Australia, we have that capability now to have your government databases stored through the Amazon Cloud in Sydney. Some of our customers are working on the rollout of the National Broadband Network. And as such, we had to get GIS Cloud approved by NBN Co. And as part of that, there were a lot of security protocols that needed to be ticked off, I suppose, so that it could be used in the NBN rollout. So I guess as a bit of backup, you've got some security there to know that NBN has approved the GIS Cloud application. It's scalable, so for users that you might want to use for a month or two, you can add users, you can reduce users, you can pay on a month-by-month basis, or you can pay on an annual or 6-monthly basis. So scale up as you need to for a particular project, or scale back down to the levels that you want to use. Because it's a month-by-month basis, there's no CapEx, so you can claim it on a month-by-month basis. Great for collaboration in teams. So if you've got field teams that go out and collect information, there's a collaboration stream that allows you to message each other and keep information consistent. Having that cloud database, let's go back. Having that cloud database, you have a single point of truth. So everybody's always working on the one database, and that's always kept up to date in real time. And for mobile capability, because it's device independent, it works on iOS or Android, and useful for agencies where bring your own device is utilised. So if your team in the field have their own mobile phones or tablets, the mobile application can be installed on those devices. At this point, I wanted to introduce one of our newer clients, which is Mid Murray Council, and Russell Pilbeam is their Manager of Asset Services. So I just wanted to bring Russell in on the conversation. You there, Russell?
Yes, Craig, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How are you?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. I just had a couple of questions, Russell. Hopefully you can help the audience with by answering these. So you've gone through a bit of investigation around cloud alternatives.
Yep.
What were the issues that you had at Mid Murray that led you to look at the cloud?
Well, for us, we recently armed our field staff with tablets.
Yep.
And it got me thinking in regards to asset management, that we cover an area of 6,000 square kilometres, that potentially now I have 50 eyes and ears out potentially collecting asset data, condition data, because they're all working on it. And then if I could get some sort of solution where it's accessible, it can work offline, it was reasonably simple to use and look at, then I could have a lot of solutions covered off by those guys. And that's the aim for this project for us.
Yep. And have you come across any roadblocks or pitfalls along the way as you're trying to roll out the cloud to your organisation?
Yeah, I would say, yes, in hindsight, in the short term, that it's probably worth starting with one or two smaller instances. There's a lot that this product that it can do, and I'd probably personally try to bite off more than I can chew and think, well, it could solve this problem and this problem and this problem. Additionally, I think we've tried to replicate a previous solution we had, which was an all-in solution. So we had an in-house GIS instance where it serviced all of our departments.
Yep.
I think GIS Cloud, what we're going to try and do with the help of Spatial Vision, is set up more tailored instances and you know, make a solution specifically for planning or for grader operators, those sort of solutions. So I guess from my perspective, it's probably more process mapping, yes, which going through this process with you guys, the trial and error of it, we've had to sort of take a step back and say, well, you know, let's scale down the solutions a bit for each department and try and get them knocked off.
Fantastic. All right, thanks, Russell. I won't keep you too long, but appreciate your feedback there on that. Okay. Okay, so finally, I just wanted to see if there's any questions, but just looking through the list at the moment, I can't see any questions. So if that's all there is, I might wrap it up there. And thanks, Russell, again for your time. We do appreciate that. If you've got any questions about GIS Cloud, please feel free to contact either myself or our Business Development Manager, Albert Matthews. You can see our email addresses there, or feel free to give us a call on Victoria 03 9691 3000. Thanks very much for your time, and thanks for joining in today, and all the best for the rest of the day. Bye.